Very good evening to you and welcome to Rwanda Television News tonight with me, Sam Kalisa. And as we kick off tonight, new diplomats here in Rwanda have committed to ensuring that investment and economic opportunities between their respective countries and Rwanda are maximized for the benefit of all people of all countries involved. The point was made as 5 new ambassadors presented their credentials to President Paul Kagame on Monday. We draw the report with Serge Node.
Rwanda has continued forging bilateral relations with different countries around the world with the objective of speeding up mutual development.
President Kagame recently visited Jamaica from the 13th to the 15th of April, and it was a highly successful visit. Jamaica was very pleased to welcome the President and his delegation, and we have taken steps to strengthen our cooperation. We signed memoranda of understanding to deal with the promotion and development of tourism, and also to deal with the strengthening of political consultations. And so those 2 documents, as well, there was a joint communique as well, which reaffirmed the different areas of cooperation that we are looking to advance in our relationship.
Such political ties also reflect the cultural and heritage ties that link people even across vast oceans.
56% of my population identify themselves as people of African descent. So the linkage, the cultural linkage between Brazil and Rwanda, they go beyond what can be seen. So Brazil, I will repeat it, is an African country, the largest African country outside of Africa, and I'm personally very proud of it. So this is a great advantage in any country that wants to reach out to Rwanda and to strengthen the relationship between our countries. Culturally, we are very close one to the other. Diplomatic, we have very strengthened relationship. The challenge now is to go beyond the barriers that until now have been imposed on the increase of bilateral commercial relationship. But we're going to work hard, my government and your government, towards a very good strengthening bilateral commercial relationship.
It was noted that countries can learn from each other on how to tackle global challenges.
I also congratulated the President on how well he managed the COVID-19 pandemic and how you have recovered in a stellar fashion last year. I said the Philippines is also working on pandemic recovery. We have reopened all our borders. We welcome tourism, business and investments, whether from Rwanda or from the world, and we welcome Rwandan nationals to go to the Philippines again. You are visa-free, we are also visa-free here, so there's no hindrance to faster traveling between our 2 sides.
Different countries can also offer things to each other that they previously did not have.
We have got, I think, tea here, and then coffee, and others, so that we really do not have. We are starting very little on that, but this is really a very good example that I can take from here, and also learn how you are doing it, so that we can, if Rwanda is an African country that is doing so good in that, and Namibia, which is also an African country, can do it. So it's only about the know-how, the skills.
His Excellency Somel Yabao Mbaindikoy, the new Chadian ambassador to Rwanda, also presented his credentials to President Paul Kagame following the visit to Rwanda of the chairman of the Transitional Military Council and President of the Republic of Chad last month. The ambassador commended the level of cooperation that exists between both countries, noting that they share many experiences and challenges that have had to be overcome. The Brazilian and Filipino ambassadors have residence in Nairobi, Kenya, though the Philippines are looking to soon open a consulate in Kigali. Chad's ambassador has residence in Brazzaville, Namibia's in Dar es Salaam, while Jamaica's High Commissioner has residence in Abuja.
Ugandan citizens living here in Rwanda are happy that even when problems still existed between the 2 countries, they were well treated right here in Rwanda.
Bridget Mutoni is a Rwandan whose parents live in Uganda. It was so hard for her to visit them due to the closure of borders because she couldn't afford the air ticket, which was the only way to visit her parents. She was in Nyabugogo booking a bus to go to Uganda, and she's so excited to visit her parents several times due to reopening of borders. We were happy after reopening of borders because we have families in Uganda. This was so wonderful to hear that Rwanda and Uganda relationship is being restored. The bus companies that travel from Kigali to Kampala noted that the improvement of Rwanda-Uganda relations has helped them to go back to work since the borders were opened. They get many clients going and coming from both countries. We as Rwandans who were working in bus companies, we are happy to go back to work. We get many clients who usually go to Uganda to visit their families. They go every day and the buses are always full. We thank God and the government of Rwanda.
We send 2 buses daily. Even sometimes we send 3 because of Nairobi bus that goes once in 2 days. That means when the Nairobi bus is available, we send 3. When it is not available, we send 2.
Ugandans working in Rwanda appreciate the Rwandan government for the security and comfort they always provide to them, even when the relationship between the two countries was not going on well.
Something I can say, I thank the two governments because they reached a negotiation. After negotiating, now people are really booming. Business are going up and Rwandans are going up and down. Ugandans are moving, everything. And we think it's going to be more. Rwanda security is really very appreciative. It's very wonderful. This is the country where you can move with the money from morning up to midnight without being scared.
An economic expert, Straton Habyarimana, noted that the restoration of Rwanda-Uganda relations means a lot to the economy of both countries.
Relationship will help to smooth movement of goods and services, and it will actually contribute to reducing the gap, the trading gap, which was being increasing of recent. And when the gap reduces, actually, it's beneficial for both countries and their citizens, of course.
President Paul Kagame visited Uganda yesterday, where he was received by his counterpart, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. An announcement from the Ugandan president's office noted that discussions between the two leaders focused on the regional security and agreed to work together to help resolve the insecurity problem in the eastern DRC. Betty Mutoni, RwandaTV News.
And as we move ahead to other matters, representatives of French investment companies operating in Rwanda emphasize that the re-election of President Emmanuel Macron is a major benefit to the economic growth of both countries, as it is hoped that new French companies will increase significantly in Macron's second term, backed by strengthened good relations between Rwanda and France. On the evening of April 24th, Emmanuel Macron was re-elected as the French president with 58.8% of the vote over his rival Marine Le Pen. For the last 20 years, no other French president was re-elected for a second term. Through his Twitter handle, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame, congratulated President Emmanuel Macron on his victory. I quote, "Congratulations on your well-deserved re-election, President Emmanuel Macron. This is a testament to your visionary leadership that seeks to unite and not divide. Rwanda looks forward to even more and stronger relationships between our people and nations." End of quote. President Emmanuel Macron stressed that he will prioritize international politics and the pride of his country and reviving good relations with other countries in his next 5 years' term. Dear members of our party, today you have made the right choice with a purpose and value for the independence of our country and Europe and our party in particular. This is an opportunity to create more jobs, a project of partnership and sharing cultures. I will put this project into action especially in a few years to come. I also want to fight against all sorts of segregation, and I will always strive to respect everyone. Emmanuel Macron's re-election became good news for the representatives of French companies operating in Rwanda, as they hope for the increase of French investment projects in Rwanda based on the existing good relations between the two countries that increased ever since President Emmanuel Macron assumed office, something they hope will continue even during his second term. Emmanuel Macron's win is something we Rwandans in general should celebrate, because we all know President Emmanuel Macron is a friend to Rwanda. When relations between countries are not good, it affects trade, relations between citizens, service delivery, and other aspects. Since Emmanuel Macron came to office, a lot has changed, and we should be happy for that. So, I'm sure this will continue even in his second term.
Et la réélection du président Macron,
Macron's recent re-election after his recent visit to Rwanda, which led to the founding of the French Club, is very important in my view, as also Rwanda-France relations currently stand firm. At Canal Olympia, we hope that Rwanda will continue to be an important partner for us, as we are planning to start expanding our activities and build sports facilities and more. That is to say, we are confident that Rwanda will open its doors to investors.
Nous sommes confiants dans le potentiel que le Rwanda offre aux business qui s'implantent ici.
During his working visit at the end of the last month, Rémi Rioux, the director of the French Development Agency, expressed his country's willingness to support good relations between the two countries and increased collaboration in sectors of development, including technology.
Nous sommes partout dans le monde et nous voulons
We are present in different parts of the globe, and of course, we also want to be here in Rwanda, in different sectors. We recently launched the Digital Africa initiative, which we hope will have a unique function. We hope it will benefit Rwanda, because we have already discussed this broad project with the government of Rwanda.
Ce grand projet avec le gouvernement rwandais sur le digital, bien sûr.
President Emmanuel Macron took office in 2017, where, among others, who competed for the top job included Marine Le Pen, whom they again rivaled in this year's election. During his first term in office, President Emmanuel Macron made various working visits in different countries, including his visit to Rwanda in May 2021. Local residents of Gisagara district are of the view that the government programs put in place to fight malaria have been of great help in containing its spread. Now, as Precious Chidezi reports, despite a few members of their community being hesitant with their participation, Gisagara is one of the most outstanding districts regarding the fight against malaria. We do have more.
Some of the citizens in the swamp claim there has been a reduction in the spread of malaria. However, there is a contagious cough going around that they also intend to fight against. Multiple measures have been taken to ensure the fight against malaria. These include the usage of drones to spread an antidote in the swamps and sleeping under mosquito nets. Most of the citizens are receptive to the measures. However, some are still very hesitant about things like closing doors and windows early to prevent the mosquito from entering the house, which means that by the time they lowered the mosquito nets, the damage has already been done. On some occasion, mosquito nets have been used unnecessarily. Gisagara has come in first place nationwide in its fight against the malaria epidemic in the last year. In recognition of the World Malaria Day event that was held in Gisagara, RBC Director General Professor Muvunyi Mambo Claude shed light on the efforts the government has had in the fight against malaria and the significant reduction in the spread of malaria in the last 5 years.
Drone n'indi navuga tools twakoresheje.
The drones are being used along with other methods used to contain the spread of malaria, along with the spraying of insecticides indoors.
According to RBC reports, those contracting malaria have dropped from 4 million to 1 million in the last 5 years. Precious Chidezi, RTV News.
A Rwandan delegation from the public and private sectors are currently in the Central African Republic to oversee the implementation of the agreements that were signed between both countries. The head of the delegation notes on the benefit of the trip when it comes to agriculture in particular.
So now we came here to put in action what we decided to do. So there's a technical team who has been working on the agreement to prepare a roadmap in terms of the business around the agriculture, but even in terms of the collaboration to restructuring the agriculture sector here in Central Africa. So we are here to finalize it, then to begin the implementation as soon as possible. We have some value chains where you see we have opportunities, as I have said, on palm oil, that is one, for example. We have in livestock, then we have on maize processing, then we have even in other sectors, like the sector of the services, where we can put in place here some companies to support the local ones to use even technology. This is one point very important because they need it, they want to improve it, the innovations around the agriculture sector. So then we have research and development because agriculture sector, as you know, even the business is supported by the business, the innovation around through research. So we have a technical team from both public and private institutions. We are here, we are 5 people. So we are working with our counterparts here to make sure that the implementation will be easy and flexible to both countries. The benefits are there because we have companies that are going to work together. Even we are exploring how we can have shareholding companies between our countries or our people. So the benefits are huge. Then the employment. We have someone here who came here to work on those areas. We have some people who already bought the land here. They begin the exploration and they are trying to prepare the land to begin cultivation. Then we are exploring how we can easy the process in terms of mainly on the fiscal side, in terms of taxes to support our companies here. But the benefits on both countries are tangible and they are relevant, and we are trying to make sure that they will be sustainable. Tomorrow we will be visiting the site where we have been given lands, and we will be visiting the next day, Wednesday, the industrial park, as I have said, to see how we can support or we can collaborate on that side of processing. So the work is here, and we are happy to contribute. So we will update you on everything we'll be doing from tomorrow to the whole of the week.
And as we move ahead to other matters, residents in different areas of the country have requested that their leaders endeavor to help solve conflicts related to giving road space to neighbors or help in other ways to prevent disputes escalating to the courts of law. Rwanda Land Management and Use Authority states that road access is mandatory and is limited to not more than 1.5 meters. We have the report with Isabel Masozera.
These conflicts are common among communities with landlocked plots. For example, places where the residents need access to wells to get clean water, but respectfully ask for permission from landowners in vain and are left with no choice but to turn to lawmakers when tensions rise, as has been the case for those who've been affected by this predicament. They came and blocked the roads with green fences. Harsh words were exchanged, but fortunately, the village leaders intervened. The other issue is that the road they destroyed helped us connect to the well. They are denying us access to water our plants. Landowners refused to grant residents passage, stating that they would rather their neighbors bought that part of the land they use to fetch water from them, or higher powers intervene, because the size of the land reduces, while emphasizing they did not want to be seen in the media. The decisions of the cabinet meeting held on April 9, 2022 approved a ministerial order determining the types of roads to be granted and the procedures to be followed. Mukamana Esperance, the Director General and Chief Registrar of Land Titles, said in the ministerial decree that providing space for roads in key places was mandatory and wrote to local authorities reinforcing the same.
Muri iri teka rishya hateganywa yuko iyo nzira itagomba kuba iri munsi ya metero imwe.
The decree stipulates that the road should not be less than 1 meter long, but not more than 1.5 meters. Those affected should write to the landowner and inform the cell leader of the location so that even the authorities can find out if there is a dispute. As for the land tax issue, she reiterated there was no change in ownership.
The
road is not a large area that will prevent a person from developing or prevent him or her from using his or her land. That is why they are taking as little land as possible. The cabinet also approved a presidential decree establishing a national land use and development plan that would go hand in hand with a housing plan in the city of Kigali that outlines all road sections. Isabel Masozera, RTV News.
Thank you, Isabel, for the report. The British High Commissioner to Rwanda, Omar Dale, says that the governments of UK and Rwanda are fully focused on the need to meet national and international legal obligations in their migration deal to ensure that beneficiaries receive the care and services they require. The British envoy was speaking at a press conference on Monday afternoon in Kigali.
The reason this all came about is because the asylum system is currently broken. Too many people are losing their lives in the channel between the UK and France, and people smugglers are profiting off the misery of vulnerable people. Both the governments of the UK and Rwanda believe that that problem cannot persist, that we need to find solutions, we need to find new and innovative ways of tackling that problem, because doing nothing is not an option. That's why over 9 months, the governments of the UK and Rwanda were discussing how we would find those solutions, about what ways we could find that would protect people, that would offer them hope and opportunity to rebuild their lives, but that would also break the business model of those people smugglers, because we don't want to see that kind of criminality continue. Both sides, when reaching this agreement, are fully focused on the need to meet all national and international legal obligations to ensure that anybody who is transferred under this agreement receives the care and the services that they require, and there will be funding in order to support that. But we also realize that for this partnership to work, there also have to be benefits for the people of Rwanda and for Rwanda as a country, to help integrate the asylum seekers who may relocate and may rebuild their lives here, but also to help build the human capital, the skills, the job opportunities in Rwanda that will allow these people to be absorbed. And we have seen in the past some excellent examples of Rwanda's hospitality to refugees and to migrants, and we want to help and support that process and work very closely with our partners in the government of Rwanda to do so.
Omar Dale said the number of people to be transferred to Rwanda during the 5-year period of the UK-Rwanda Migration and Development Partnership are yet to be determined, but they should be in thousands. British High Commissioner also noted that some criticism against the Rwanda-UK Migration Partnership are unfounded, adding that the two countries agreed on the possible solutions to address the migration crisis.
Yes, I really disagree with that criticism, because first I also think that some of those criticisms have treated this as something that the UK has done to Rwanda, as if the government of Rwanda is not a fully fledged partner in this discussion. This is a partnership between two equals. We have talked together about how we can deal with this problem, how we can make it better, and this solution is something that we have come up with jointly, so I think it is a real partnership between the two countries. The UK will continue to do our part in terms of welcoming asylum seekers and genuine refugees, and we have done so recently with Afghans, with Ukrainians, with Syrians, and with others, and that will continue. But this is another way of sharing the burden and of ensuring that we break the business model of the people smugglers, because at the moment they are holding the sort of carrot of getting to the UK as something that tempts vulnerable people into taking really dangerous journeys where they're losing their lives in the Channel or the Mediterranean, and that bit can't go on. So we want to make sure that that stops, while also giving genuine asylum seekers a real opportunity to rebuild their lives, and that's what Rwanda is going to offer them. On the numbers, we don't have a specific number. We would expect this to be in the thousands over the course of the partnership, but there isn't a specific cap on that partnership. On the UNHCR, as I said in answer to the other question, yes, there have been concerns. We're continuing to talk to them about it. But there have also been examples of where there have been transfers of refugees to Rwanda, which has been done well, which has been a success. And though it's a different sort of partnership, that's part of the evidence.
Meanwhile, the British envoy also spoke about the upcoming Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting due to be held in Kigali in the week starting 20th June. Omar Dale noted that Prince Charles will represent the Queen of England during the CHOGM, which will also be attended by the Prime Minister Boris Johnson.
We are expecting His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales to be here representing the Queen as head of the Commonwealth. We're also expecting the Prime Minister to be here and expecting several other ministers from the UK government to be here. But then a whole host of other world leaders will be here. So I think it's going to be a really vibrant time in Kigali. I'm not going to give their exact sort of arrival dates at this stage, but they'll be here and they'll do a mix of both Commonwealth events, and I think they will also take the chance to see a bit more of Rwanda and to learn a bit more about our bilateral relationship. Because for us, having a prime ministerial level visit, having the Prince of Wales is a really major thing. So my team here at the High Commission are going to be working very hard on that in May and June.
And on behalf of the entire news production team that made it happen, many thanks for being with us. My name is Sam Kalisa. Stay safe and have a good day.